Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Boring Enterprise Nerds Nerdletter Talk, issue number 6,942,807. I am your incredible host, Paul Moderman, and with me is the always amazing Yelena Perfilieva. And today, as in all of our Nerdletter Talk videos, we're going to talk about the things that we're probably going to write about in the next issue of our newsletter. Now, of course, I think we pretty much always have like extra bonus complainer things and extra bonus um, tidbits and pieces. So we'll probably have some of that today too. But let's kick it off with Yelena. Please give us the tour of what you are going to
Yep,
regale us with
yep,
this
awesome.
week.
Yep, let's do that. Okay, let me share my stuff. So surprisingly, today I'm actually gonna start with bonus material, because it's such a little tidbit, like day in life of SAP professional, and it's not even a day. It was literally 2 hours, almost like leading up to this conversation, like literally today. So I thought it
Yeah.
would be perfect to just bring this up as a bonus, because I'm sure many people will see this and will be like, "Oh my God, like I can just so much me." So we can together, I guess, maybe commiserate or I don't know, make fun of SAP or ourselves. So thing number one that was attempted today. So we have, I work at consulting company. We have our own internal SAP system just for testing purposes. It's a purely test system. Nothing happens there. However, we have quite a few people who have access to it. So we thought, why not enable service that lets people reset their passwords? Because otherwise they have to ask someone, and we have people in different time zones, so it doesn't always get done timely. So, why not? After some Googling, which by the way is very weird these days because stupid Google brings up like 10 unrelated YouTube videos
Yeah.
first, and only then, if you're lucky, you get some post. So I actually found this very old 2013. So this is like ancient post, but
hmm
it describes a data service standard provided by SAP in NetWeaver Gateway. Even if you're like an ECC, you can find this service. It's called User Request Management, and another my colleague tested it. It actually works. However, what we've noticed is information about this is pretty much impossible to find. Like this is the only post that actually explains what it is, what it does. Documentation for this service, I only found it using like this service name, and it's very vague. It's like, yeah, this is what's there. It's essentially lists the same things you can get from metadata request. So this is kind of the daily challenge, I think, in everyone's SAP world. It's like to find stuff, then to find how it works, and when it doesn't work, to find why. So that's what we kind of have been dealing with my colleague. I looked with him a little bit, but then had to let him just figure it out on himself because we just ran out of non-billable time to do that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the thing. And now, funny enough, since it's a test system, we also found that obviously the service, what it does, you send a request like, "Hey, bro, I want to reset my password." And it's supposed to generate email to you and send you, here is a link where you can
hmm
like, here is your new password, etc.
hmm
But we also found that since it's a test system, the emails are not going out of it. So now essentially, after having done all this work, our POC essentially failed miserably. so
That's
so that's kind of a
that's perfect.
cherry on
That's
cherry on top.
perfect.
So we're like, yeah, success, but then, oh crap, like okay, back to square one. So I don't know if we're gonna attempt it. I thought it was just funny enough to mention in this conversation. And so item number two, so that's not the only thing. That's not the whole day in life. That's like minutes in life of SAP consultant. So second part, so I was working on doing some automation around this accounting document posting
Mhm.
Bobby, and every time I do that, I kind of run into the same situations that I forget to add the actual testing to the estimate because create something that calls BAPI, that's like minutes of time. That's very simple, even without any AI tools or whatever. It's
Yep.
it's pretty
Yep.
simple. However, test it successfully and find out what it actually needs
Whew.
or doesn't need. That's like
That's a
good
whole
luck
other
with
ball
that.
game.
But thankfully, I got pretty lucky today thanks to this post again from, let's see, 2023, so not so recent,
Mm,
but this is helpful post which actually has all the details and some code example here with pretty much just giving you necessary data that you need. And what is kind of bizarre about this BAPI again, there is some documentation because all the BAPIs they must have some documentation. They
yeah.
are
Yeah.
original SAP APIs which do stuff, and they still do. They still used like all over
Yeah.
the place in S4
Yep.
HANA anywhere they're used. However, if you go to the documentation, if you're lucky, if something is there, it's like yeah, there's this parameters, and like this parameter is for header. Well, thank you, bro, because it's literally called header, so I couldn't really, figure it out myself. But then you go,
Fascinating, really. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but then you go into the weird stuff because, like, for example, you see, I can just show you quickly. So this is how signature looks like in minimum. So there is document header, which is very typical in SAP
Hmm.
world. Pretty much every
Yeah.
document it has header and line item. So super
Hmm.
typical. And in this case, you can see there is account GL, account payable, and currency amount. Um, if you do this accounting document in transaction, like FB01 is one of the transactions where you can do that. It's what is called journal entry in financials. It's when you do like random posting. Like for example,
Hmm.
you overcharge your customer, you cannot cancel, you cannot give them credit any other way. You go there and say, hey, customer, I given you like $10 and I'm gonna write it off from this GL account. That's
Hmm.
essentially what it is.
Yeah.
And in my case, I was using an existing document as an example because something that posted before, like ABAPers, tip of the day for you, use something that posted before and just use that for your example. Go with
Mm.
that. However, when you do that, you quickly see that what you see in the transaction and how BAPI works is not the same because I go into transaction code and the way you post it, okay, header is there, so header is clear, but then items in this specific case, you need to put what is called posting key in the transaction code. But if you go to BAPI, there is no posting key. So you sit there and scratching your head like, what am I supposed to do now? Because I was expecting like literally one-to-one the same interface, but it's very different. And in my case, it was, yeah, one line was going to GL account, one was going to the customers. So in terms of calling BAPI, exactly like here, you need to split it into two internal tables. And that's not all. There is a third internal table with amounts. And this is so different from what you're doing in the transaction that I'm like, I don't know how, like, someone who is new to this, I have no idea how they would be expected to understand this.
I,
Like,
I like I think to myself sometimes, how did I make it this far? How did
yeah,
I survive
yeah,
to become a grizzled veteran when
yeah.
I see things like this and I'm like, what if I put myself in my 1 year old ABAP
Oh
developer
my,
shoes or whatever? Like,
oof.
what would I would be just completely
Yeah,
at sea. And this
yeah,
so this thing you're showing here and the previous one you showed the gateway, the service that's
yeah,
essentially ungoogleable, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like I think every time I see this stuff, I'm reminded of two things. One thing is like I do not understand why SAP doesn't flood the internet
yeah,
with this stuff.
yeah,
Like SAP customers are so sick of paying for consultants and paying for whatever
yeah,
to do the weirdo shit that they have
yeah,
to
yeah,
do this stuff. Their customers are sick of it.
yeah,
And frankly, even as somebody who has made part of my living being willing to wade through crap like this to do it, I'm also sick of it. I
yeah,
hate this stuff.
yeah, yeah.
The other thing I think about is just a little story. So I work at a place called Nova, and
Mm,
we have like this mix of like SAP engineers and the other like more traditional Silicon Valley web engineer kind of people who do this stuff. And so we're in a like an engineering team meeting. We're talking about various things, And my colleague Nestor, um, who is an SAP guy, he's explaining this particular little corner of SAP, and he's talking about he had to do something to get a system started up and whatever. And one of these other engineers goes, "How did you know that?" And I said, you just saw exactly why the consulting industry exists,
Yeah.
is because the only way to know that is to have drowned in that
Yeah.
ocean yourself
Yeah.
like 10 times before or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And saw that little weird corner. But like it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
It should be so much easier
Yeah.
to do dumb crap like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, ideally, like, oh yeah, like AI should do that. Yeah, ideally, I should be able to just, hey, bro, like, give me like
Yeah.
sample to test this Bobby, because that's like building this. That's not even my focus. My focus is like way down the road because I need to do
Yeah.
more with this. This is very first step on a journey somewhere, somewhere, totally different place. But very first step is just give it sanity check and make sure it works like in principle. But even getting that very first test, which would usually need to be also in dev system with very limited data, that's like I don't know, like I have I've done this. I was able to figure this out actually reasonably quickly, just because I've seen some shit before. That's the only reason why,
It's the
because
only
I've looked
way.
at like, oh, like, okay, I see that because I just put everything in like account GL first, because that's what I thought it was by
Yeah.
just doing the
Yeah.
entry. But then I looked at, oh, one of them is not actual GL account. It's actually customer account. In transaction, it doesn't tell you that. Transaction is like, okay, you gave me some number. I'm gonna go figure out what you want to do with it,
Yeah.
what it does. And it just works somehow. But with this, no, like you need to give me in this exact way. Like why? I'm like, why
I
doesn't Bobby like have the same parameters as transaction?
I so I've been like a direct employee of like two or three different companies to do
Mm,
SAP, and then I've been a consultant at a number of other ones, right? And every place that I've been a direct employee, I can tell you, I can tell you at least 30%, maybe even more, because everybody goes and makes these little temporary Z
yeah,
programs to
yeah,
do things or whatever.
yeah,
I would say at least 30% of my little Z programs that are in a system has at the center, it has a BAPI,
yeah,
and it's surrounded by
yeah,
1,000 lines of commented and uncommented code trying to figure out
yeah,
how to use the damn thing
yeah,
to do what I want to do.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it winds up being like 14 lines of code or something
yeah,
dumb like that.
yeah,
But you only get there by wading through 10,000 lines of, I don't know, I'll try
yeah,
this. I don't know,
yeah.
I'll try this.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my God.
exactly. And
Whew.
sometimes, yeah, and sometimes error messages that come back, I was lucky that I got a couple that were at least to the point, but
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
they're pretty vague, like, I don't know, you go figure out what this BKPF blah blah blah, some kind of vague number means. Like, yeah, go figure it
Or
out.
it'll say like could not finish posting or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but that's what I'm trying to do. Tell me
Like
why.
didn't post. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, like sorry, couldn't make it. Like that's didn't happen. Like tried my best. So, but I mean, you really should have like examples like this one from
Yes.
SAP. I mean,
Oh my
what
God.
have you guys been doing like all this time? And I
Uh,
mean, so again, yeah, thank you, Srikanth,
yes.
K24, whoever you are, for posting this in 2023. Finally, like for someone to see how exactly you call this Boppy.
Yeah.
And that's if you might say, oh, well, Boppies are old. No, they're not. They're still being used. They're going to be used for 10 more
Dude.
years for sure.
Yeah. Come
But
on.
but you
Yeah.
have public APIs now. There is no stuff like this for public APIs
Yeah.
either.
You have
That's
the
the funny
exact
part.
same problem.
Like there was a problem. You've done exactly nothing about
Now,
it, and you just
now
created. Yeah,
what used to be 100 Z programs of
yeah.
me figuring out each individual play, now I have 100 Postman
Postman
scripts trying to
exactly.
figure out the new one. Nothing is
Exactly.
better.
Yeah, exactly the same. Like ABAP report is now Postman. It's all there is. So, whew, all right. So,
Ah, oof.
that kids is just like few hours in the life of SAP consultant.
Ah, I'm getting all
So
fired up
yeah.
here. Woo.
Well, that might as well be a story that I will write one day. So I don't know when I have more kind of anger built up. But so okay, so moving on to most like to modern day, more positive stuff. So this is kind of random blog post that kind of graced my RSS feed.
Mhm.
At first, I couldn't really understand what this is, to be honest, and I'm not sure I actually still correctly do. But it looks like this is kind of some kind of way to essentially create like um, CDS views with maybe a little bit ABAP and then expose them not like as a data services, but expose them through ODBC connector
Oh.
essentially to be like um, directly query it maybe using SQL, not
Hmm.
like OData, but something more. And I want to, I don't know if Safa Bahush, if she's listening, or I don't know, if we could get maybe more information of what specific use cases for this could be, because I kind of I see it and I think, oh, cool, but then like, but what would you like do with it exactly, and
Yeah.
in what scenario? It does look like maybe um yeah, I don't know data consumption. It's a little bit vague here, and this blog post it goes through a lot of detail, but technical detail. So there is like
Yeah.
yeah, diagram examples, lots and lots of stuff here, which is great. But I'm just struggling a little bit. Like there's probably definitely good use for it, like some really awesome scenario where someone is
Yeah.
like, yes, that's exactly what I need, but I would like to find more, and maybe I will find more before our newsletter goes to press, so that that will go into the story as well.
So I have two reactions to this.
Hmm.
One is yes, please. I love SQL so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Like, give me all of my data in SQL. Give me
yeah,
my email in SQL. I
yeah,
will use it. I would love that.
yeah.
There's probably a plugin I can use. I probably should just get used to that. But the other thing that strikes me is if you scroll down to where
Mm.
one of those diagrams has like a exposure, keep going down just a little bit
Scroll
further, I
down.
think. Um, oh, maybe I missed it.
Some code here.
Okay,
Let me see if I
maybe.
can scroll down.
Oh yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Service
But
binding.
this
Yep.
the create a service binding of SQL. Every time, every time somebody like does something where they're like, "Oh, cool, I've unchained the data from SAP to make it available somewhere else," I
Mm.
think to myself, does is somebody from SAP waiting to sue you for doing this?
Yeah,
Because there's
yeah,
so many of those weird restrictions. Like
yeah,
I saw a post somewhere, I forget where, just like I just apparently I've forgotten everything in my life today, but like I saw a post somewhere about all of the restrictions you have for Business Data Cloud for
mm.
like, or maybe it was DataSphere, one
Yes,
of the two. I
yeah,
forget
yeah,
what.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Both
for
of them, I
like
think
what you
actually.
can do with the
Yep,
data,
yep,
and I think to myself, well, why even bother having the damn thing
yeah,
if I'm only allowed to like bless SAP and send them a check every time, I have a third party query this
yeah,
DataSphere thing. Like
yeah,
it's my data. Come on.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
It just, I don't know.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's a great question, and that would I that kind of would go with use cases as well, because well, in which case, like business case, business scenario or something, would you
Yeah.
use it while staying compliant with all your
Yeah.
SAP licensing crap? Because if I'm gonna, oh cool, and I'm gonna put this like in Excel or some like Power BI, and then SAP will like, hold on a second, like you owe us for indirect access, then yeah, then who needs this?
Uh,
It's pretty weird. So yeah, so more details TBD on this one. But I thought it was
mm,
an interesting approach, and I think many people might miss this blog post otherwise.
yeah.
All right. So story number two. This is very interesting piece. It's called Illusion of Building. It's kind of hard to understand from the title what this is about, but I think in a nutshell, it points out again how doing like vibe coding with AI and building an actual application actually is different. And I think if I just scroll down to think where they go through like some examples which are very interesting. But let's see if I can I can just find kind of penultimate piece there. All right. So, okay. So yeah, so there are real gains like from AI thing. Yeah, so this is the one. The things that make product real, they're not implementation problems. So and I think that's a part that at least forgotten by many like influencer posts. I'm sure anyone who actually works with technologies, they are very painfully aware that there is much more than just like writing code and
Yeah.
building, I don't know, whatever, some things that code does. There is like a whole lot around it. I just like the way how this person put it in, with specific examples and in this specific way. So, all right.
Yeah,
Any thoughts
yeah.
from you,
No,
Paul?
this resonates to me too because like I love doing the vibe coding things for things,
Mm,
but I also completely understand where like if I make something to help me do something and it's really, really cool, there is a universe of difference between that thing helping me and that thing being a product that I could distribute to the world,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like the AI helped me build a thing that does my little nitpicky thing that's really cool to me.
yeah,
That's awesome. That
yeah,
truly is awesome. And we
yeah,
haven't had that before, and it's amazing. But that
yeah,
is not the same thing as now I'm going to put a Stripe thing in front of it and pay
yeah,
people to use it and
yeah,
whatever. Because just like this thing's like, as soon as somebody else wants to go in and use it, they don't live inside my head. They don't
yeah,
have a clue what I'm trying to do with
yeah,
this thing.
yeah,
And they're gonna like bounce off it and be like, what is this guy smoking when he
yeah,
thinks that I want to use this? That's that's where it goes into like and like I so when I think about people who okay, this is related but slightly different. When I think about people who like who do AI slop like blog posts and
mm-hmm,
crap like that,
mm-hmm,
like I often think to myself, okay, you tried to take a shortcut from like your thought to like something expressing your thought. Maybe you had a
mm-hmm,
thought. I'm not even sure you had a thought, but maybe you did. Let's say you had a thought and you just wanted to get out there as fast as you could.
mm,
I think you could still use AI to help you shape the thought, except it will cost you about the same amount of time as it would to write it up manually,
yeah,
as it would to make the AI make it a communicable good thing.
yeah,
Because it's the effort you put into the clarity, the climbing over
yeah,
constraints, the stuff, that's what makes it real.
yeah,
And like just like this, like I think you can people all do now use AI to like to make production level things,
mm,
but it's not like a magic solution.
yeah,
It still requires a bunch of effort. In fact, I have a story about this, but yeah,
mm,
like it anyways, yes,
yeah. So,
completely
so I
agree.
guess, yeah, I mean, when you come to this conclusion, kind of illusion of building, I think title makes a lot of sense because yeah, like what building actually entails. There are so
Yeah.
many parts of it. All
Yeah.
right, so yeah, that's really yeah, really good subject. But moving on. So the last but not least, this is kind of an
Ah, I
interesting
saw this.
article. Yeah, refer to standard, should destination or star. So we do hear a lot of this, clean core, whatever it means today, and many customers aspire to go back to the standard where maybe they had some customizations before. So they're like, oh, okay, so we did this crap in ACC, but now we have S4, it's supposed to be better. And I think all of them run into the same situation where it's like, but how do we like know that we had this custom and now something better is available? And will this something better actually deliver us what we had before,
Yeah.
or at least 80% of that? And I think Christopher bravely maybe tries to address that. And I'm aware that he works at SmartShift, which is company that kind of creates tools adjacent to this idea. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of yeah taking this with a little bit grain of salt, but I
Yeah.
think it's a good kind of good subject to discuss in general, because this is also where honestly there isn't really simple solution to this either. It may be not exactly North Star, but between North Star and achievable destinations, there is a
Yeah,
lot of, I think, like leeway there in the middle.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, so
yeah.
that's kind of that musings around this subject gonna be my third story for the day.
This
Uh,
I do note too that in this I saw this one a few days ago. I stumbled across this
mm,
from outside. Somehow I was Googling something else and I came across this. But
mhm.
I read this thing and kind of toward the bottom of this, he does take a pretty mean swipe at like the AI tools out there. So I was like, ah, okay, okay, this is a
Yeah,
good one. Like, yeah, the why LLMs alone can't do blah
yeah.
blah blah. Yeah, like this is worth a read for people to think about this.
All right. So that's all for me, folks, and over to you,
Okay,
Paul.
over to you, Paul. Show us what you're thinking about these days. So, as probably not surprising to you at all, Yelena, is I'd like to talk about a couple little things in here.
A
Um,
little more about this.
this we probably could do a whole video about this
Yeah.
separately too. So, and maybe we should.
We
But
could do like Game of Thrones, like 8 seasons talking about this stuff, I think easily.
yeah, yeah. Um, so there's just a couple of things I want to pick out here and show, and then I have a different take,
Mm,
maybe that for the newsletter itself. But so one thing I note is that if you look through the, first of all, this is the result of the survey. The survey itself was done a year ago or more than a year ago, and the results are out now about a year after the survey itself was taken. So it's got this already has this quality of like, here are the results, but you're looking into the past by a year.
mm,
And in earlier years of SAP, that wouldn't really matter. It didn't usually take this long, but it wouldn't
mm-hmm.
matter. But the pace of change is such that like 1 year ago these days,
Yeah,
you might as well be looking at like ancient Rome
yeah,
or something like that,
yeah.
right? So take this all with a little bit of a grain of salt for that. But I do note a couple things. One thing is the SAP developer community age distribution.
Mm,
The
yikes.
the increases the
Yeah,
increases are in the oldest age range things.
yeah.
The decreases are in the middle
The
range,
middle, yeah.
and the young people thing might as well not even exist,
Yeah.
right? Like look at that. Like so
Yeah.
this community continues to get, older and grayer, and as an old gray person, like you know, I see it. I'm now
Yeah.
part of the problem,
Yeah.
right? Um the I don't know what the solution to it is, but like if we lived in a world where AI wasn't going to do something, God knows what, to
Mm,
development, I would be like, this is a real problem. I'm not 100% sure exactly what the problem is now. It feels like there is a problem, but I don't know what it is. But all I want to say is that like this should this should sort of kind of freak people out a little bit anyway.
yeah.
That the age is like doing this to the community, you know?
I think unfortunately it freaks out wrong people for wrong
Yeah,
reasons, and they're
yeah,
thinking of wrong solutions. They are thinking, oh, this is where AI will solve us, but AI is not gonna solve us when that 55, like 45 even, is gonna move over, like way over to the side, and you have nothing coming in because that's the puny 18 to 24 and rapidly dropping 25 to 34 demographics. They're the ones who would be supporting whatever anyone develops. It doesn't matter if it's developed by AI or by me. It doesn't matter. Someone needs to support this. You cannot just leave your SAP system just running on autopilot all the time. It's just
yeah.
not realistic. And you can see there is like nothing coming in. So yeah, I think people
Tough
should be freaking
challenge.
out, but
Yeah,
I suspect they will think about it in completely wrong way. And I do think that there should be more hiring of new people into more ABAP positions, more SAP developer positions, not just
yeah,
ABAP these days.
yeah.
But yeah, there is and funny enough, it looks like there is actually increase of younger demographic, which is probably newcomers into SAP. They're like looking, oh, I've heard SAP pays good money, so
Yeah,
let me look into that. And
yeah,
then as they turn 25, they're like, nope. So it's just quickly, quickly disappearing, I guess, after their internship, and they don't want to do SAP
yeah.
development anymore, which yeah, I mean, unsurprising to be
Not
honest.
surprising.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, it
yeah,
will take years for it to play out, so I don't know.
yeah.
There's another piece here, just one of the other pieces I noted of this. Here is the backends survey
Hmm.
results of like
Hmm.
what are you guys doing with backend stuff? Completely shocking to me. I did not realize BTP ABAP
Hmm.
would be like the second most commonly used backend.
Hmm.
The steampunk, right? The
Hmm.
the on or the side by side version of ABAP,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, I I had no idea that this many people were doing it
Mm.
for whatever reason. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but I was surprised by that finding there.
Yeah,
Although this is definitely this is a self-selected mix of people
yeah,
in this survey,
yeah,
and this particular answer is like a multi-answer, right?
yeah,
This adds up to way more than 100%, right? So
yeah,
you can pick more than one.
yeah.
So
I
maybe people are seeing
yeah.
it, but like I just feel like at least I myself, I have still yet to encounter a or a side by side ABAP thing in the wild for myself anyway.
What I do suspect is that, like you said, it's kind of it's not really statistically representative necessarily
Yeah.
slice of our development. I do think there are two pieces. So one, maybe people don't actually know what that is exactly, and they see ABAP, they just check the box. That's probably one part. Second part, I do suspect maybe people mean that they use ABAP trial or some trial systems, and they're
Mm.
just kind of including that, which is totally valid,
Yeah.
because if you, I mean, if you worked with it, why not mention it? That
Yeah.
because if we look at maybe productive use and people doing something for like work, or I know either as consultants or internally, very seriously doubt it's such a large number.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, it's not really saying that it's bad. It's just I don't think in the wild it's actually used like that much.
Yeah.
So
I don't think so. Here's the other so here's the other thing. This is the ABAP variance
yeah,
different. I mean, this is split down the middle,
yeah,
right, of the ABAP variant that people are using.
yeah,
Uh, I honestly think this 2% is probably more. Like, I suspect that more people don't know the difference
yeah,
between these.
yeah,
Um, uh, at least my hunch is that. Again, it's a self-selected thing, so in the real world of everybody, this what is this purple or whatever this color here should be a
yeah,
bigger slice probably
yeah,
than the real world or than this survey.
yeah.
But we'll see.
And that I think that response directly correlates to the other diagram, because yeah, if that's what
Yeah,
they're using, then obviously that's what you're gonna see in their
yeah,
backend. And again, that is by no means I think representative for what's going on at the customers right now.
yeah. The only other thing is that like I think there's also none of the other graphs here, but there's even if we take with a grain of salt
Mm,
um the data pool here,
mm,
the sample here of people. I like the overall thing I think is it's just like the SAP universe for developers is like it's like Moses parting the Red Sea, right?
yeah,
There's two kinds of them.
yeah,
One of them is the people who, for lack of caring or for lack of opportunity, are stuck in like ancient times.
mm,
And then there's people who get the chance to go play with the things that like make a little bit more sense from like a skill development or
yeah,
modern
yeah,
standpoint. And I think for a lot of people out there, especially people who work at like the SIs who are very stuck in like
mm,
hard to break out kind of positions.
yeah, yeah, doing
I don't know.
support and stuff. Yeah,
I don't know what you're gonna do. I'm really sorry that you're stuck there
yeah,
because that sucks.
yeah.
But I suspect there are a lot of people who are
Yeah.
stuck for
By
that.
the way, there was one funny, I think, question there. It was one of the first ones. I think if you scroll down, maybe it's there. It was like, have you like not employment? Can you just slightly lower, lower, lower? Where are now slightly lower, maybe? Narrowing the response set. Let me see. So, oh, I think, yeah, this is the one. Um, so this is a question like, have you developed integrations or extensions for any SAP products or technologies in the past 12 months? So it's basically, have you done anything with SAP? And look at the response, like no, 24%, and unsure 9%. Like, who are these people? Why are they filling in the survey? I don't understand.
Yeah.
This is SAP developer survey. I think SAP needs to put this question first and then just, if you answer no, then show like bye and like thank you, because otherwise I don't understand what you're answering. And that might also be where that ABAP BTP comes from. If someone may be, I don't know, unemployed for a year or
Mm,
just kind of fresher trying to break in, they might, fill in the survey, but I don't want to disrespect their opinion, but it's not really target demographic. I think that should be for the survey. So
yeah.
if SAP does this again, I would just make this first question and then just kind of, yeah,
Filter
direct
out.
people to like
Yeah.
thank you page if they do not do anything with SAP.
If
I
you
mean,
click,
why are you there?
if
It's like that's just silly. So I don't know.
that the dynamic survey, if you click no, it just takes you to the next question, which is
Yeah,
why?
yeah.
Why are you
Why
here?
like why are
Yeah.
you here? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I'm lost. Or, yeah, it would be funny.
Or it just you click no and it just closes your browser or whatever something.
Yeah,
That'd be great too.
ejects you from the chair.
Just
Go touch grass, bro.
you are a bot. Leave. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Mhm.
so related here, in SAP community, there is a Tom Young yesterday published a post about.
Mhm.
So apparently there is this HANA CLI um, utility you can use for controlling HANA Cloud things and other HANA things. I've never used it myself personally.
Mm,
I've never been like at that kind of level of HANA stuff, at least from the CLI.
yeah.
But apparently people use this quite a bit. So and that's cool.
Mm,
And he's put out a newest version, and what he wrote about was used AI to help him do this 4.0 release.
mm.
And it was he let's see, where's the pertinent quote here?
That's TLDR, right? Right above the
There's something
picture. Mm,
there's something and the point was somewhere in here he said this is like this set of changes is like way bigger and way faster than he
mm,
had ever done in a previous release
mm-hmm,
of this. I gotta find the wording here. I'll find it for the blog post or whatever. But the point is, he of course used AI, but he used AI like a product engineer and not
mm,
like a vibe coder,
mm-hmm,
right? So he had tons of like testing wrapped around it and tons of validation and kind of stuff like that. And so like a lot of changes were possible and were accelerated by AI, but
mm.
it wasn't just like close your eyes and vibe code
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
So there's some key things in there for people who look at this and think about it for like getting your own sort of skills up to date for that kind of stuff and how to think about doing something like this. Really handy. It also got me thinking, like, this is like he changed a ton of the architecture of the pieces, and he wrote about a lot about how like there's a bunch of new things you can do and all kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm,
And I thought to myself, this is like a wrapper tool, maybe not a wrapper tool, but it's like a utility on top of
mm-hmm,
like HANA itself,
mm-hmm,
right? For doing whatever it is you do with this CLI utility. And he used AI to accelerate this, and he got a lot better results, a lot more features. That's awesome. That's great. What happens when like the core thing under the hood, HANA itself, does not move at that speed,
mm,
right? Like I feel like there's the possibility here that for this, clearly AI has penetrated some level of this development process for SAP in its HANA ecosphere of things. But I somehow doubt that at the moment, the HANA database itself is necessarily seeing the same uplift
mm,
as like the smaller tools around the edges,
mm,
right? Maybe it is. I mean, I think people would be smart to try to learn how to use AI to do development,
mm,
but my gut says this tool will far outpace HANA itself
Yeah.
as like because you could imagine like okay if HANA goes to version 3 or whatever the latest version of
Mm-hmm.
it would be, right?
Mm.
Like you would have a need for more things to put in this tool. But if HANA does not move that speed at all, you know? And
Mm.
so this tool and the tools around it will like they'll like get to the end of the race and be like, where did HANA go? You know what I mean? Like they'll be so far ahead of HANA
Yeah,
that it
the
will,
tool outpaced
yeah,
the
yeah, way
the
outpace them.
actual platform.
But I recommend the post just for the like how Thomas used this stuff
Mm.
to do this stuff. So
Mm.
this is a good one. Um, another AI thing really quickly, which is I actually I got to this from somewhere else. I realized no, sorry, I didn't realize. I was looking at something else and somebody pointed out something that I had kind of missed. But if you are reading a post somewhere and if the user uses the word quiet or quietly,
Mm.
you should suspect that you're reading AI slop.
Mm.
AI has started to, maybe not started to, but like that's a sort of a key signal of that. Because there's lots of those little signals, right?
Mm.
The M dashes are like a signal. The
Yeah.
word delve is like a signal. It's not
Yeah.
perfect, but it's a signal, right?
In these
Um,
times or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Uh, what is it? In today's fast-paced world of technology, like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
fuck you,
Yep. Yep.
done, right?
Yep.
Um, so I saw, anyway, I was gonna go back and find that, but I came across something even more that enrages me even more, which is, um, this post, this post is exactly 100% wrong with what's going on. Because this post starts off, AI slop has become a real problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Of course.
Mm.
This person says there's an easy fix. The easy fix this person is promoting is an AI prompt. That's the wrong fix.
To
The
make your
wrong
AI
like
look less like AI.
the like
Like,
the I
like
know that there's like the surface tells of like by the way this post here guarantee it was AI generated as
just that
well.
light bulb. Yeah,
It
that's like, bro,
guarantee
you are the problem.
you are the problem. Um, uh,
God.
here's an M dash warning, emoji
One, two,
warning,
three. Yeah.
bullet posts, bullet list
Bold font.
without without actual bullets. Instead, they're
Yeah.
emoji bullets.
Yeah.
Warning, right?
Like,
But this is the like this is like saying like my problem is that my house is on fire. I know, I'll pour gas on it.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
backwards. You did it
Yeah.
wrong.
Or
You're creating more of the problem.
yeah.
Because the problem with slop is not that it uses those particular words or even the emoji. It's that the slop has no thought in it. There's no like somebody is passing off a a shitty thought or no thought into like berating poor ChatGPT into trying to make their dumb thought look smart
Yeah.
by adding more words to it.
Yeah.
And then this person saying, "I know, we'll fix this by stripping out like it would be like if your car doesn't work at all and the person says, "I know, I'm going to add pinstripes to it."
Mm.
That doesn't matter. Your car still won't go.
Yeah.
Like if you have an AI generated slop thing and you ask AI to strip off the little bits that make it look like AI, you still have slop. It is still slop. You just tried to camouflage it.
Yeah.
So my rant here is like I don't know who wrote this. Maybe this person. Oh, okay. This person, Counter Elephant. 100% guarantee this person will never see this video. Um,
Why is it
but
called my shingle? I have so many questions.
yeah, AI
Is
for
this some kind
lawyers.
of
I don't know.
roofing company?
Yeah,
Jesus.
but the point is like, please, please don't do this. Like, I know
Yeah.
I'm like it doesn't matter. What I'm saying doesn't matter. It's not going to help. It's not going to change anything. I'm shouting into the wind. I know it. And I whatever. But like please at least viewers please recognize that the slop like look in the mirror, the slop is there, not on the
Yeah.
page. That's all. That's all.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like the problem is not it's like not pretty enough. Problems shouldn't exist in the first place. That's
If
all.
you have to use an anti-slop prompt, eh, again, I know it doesn't matter. I'm saying this to the wrong people, but like if you're using an anti-slop prompt, the proper anti-slop prompt is to close the window and not post that thing.
Yeah.
That's the anti-slop
Yeah.
prompt.
Yeah.
Um,
Or like alternative, if you have a thought, just post that.
yeah,
Because I think honestly, if you take any of those posts, if you try to distill it to something, it's like one sentence. That's probably all there is. And honestly, if it's a good thought, I think people are going to take it.
yeah,
And that's why remember original Twitter, it had like space limits, how many 140 characters or
140.
so. It was
Yeah,
pretty small.
yeah,
So people shared this exactly like quick like blurbs. Sometimes some of them were silly, some were stupid, but some were actually pretty good. And the it kind of forced you to compress your
yeah.
long-winding, maybe kind of thinking into something more concise and more, engaging, interesting, all of that. And now it's almost like the opposite. Because every time I look at this stuff, I'm like, okay, if there is a grain of thought there, I'm gonna copy paste this into my chat GPT and now ask it like distill it to
Just
one thought if it's there. So
yeah,
why waste like planet resources to
yeah.
like you slop out, I slop in and it's it's just ridiculous.
You could
Just
have just said your
why?
thought or said
Exactly. Just
nothing.
say
Yeah.
what you want to say and that's it and be done with it. You don't need to and people might think it's like, oh, it's nicely wrapped gift. No, it's not. it's
No,
it's like it's not
no,
that nicely wrapped.
no.
It's like that prank gift that you give to someone when you have like
And the
piece of
snake.
candy wrapped
Yeah.
in like 500 layers of just so that you can film it
Yes.
on TikTok and make fun of the person
Mm.
being frustrated unwrapping all this stuff. That's what it is. So yeah,
I hate it so much. I hate it
yeah,
so
yeah,
much.
yeah,
Whew. Okay.
yep.
Well, on that positive note, let's end
Yay.
this edition of the Nerd Letter and say, please subscribe or like or share to see more rants and raves and the occasional positive thing come
Yeah.
out of our mouths as well. Um, and we will see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.